The DCA gave me a grant that let me go to Itaparica, Brazil as part of the Sakar residency.
The Sakar Foundation administers an international arts residency program which operates out of a beautiful seaside estate in Bahia, Brazil. Since 2001, Sakar has hosted over 225 artists of all disciplines and from 48 countries. The artists frequently produce work inspired by the vibrant local culture, where the music, dance, cuisine, martial arts, and religion draw on traditions brought from Africa.
I made a video animation there that parts of it were video where I was performing within the landscape of the island, and part of it was with characters and puppets that I made there. So this character is one of the main characters. It's the puppet character that I created of a kind of imaginary caboclo, which is the half indigenous, half European figure, but in this case it's also transgendered, so it's half male and half female. And the narrative is that the caboclo is kind of approached by the military and is taken out of the position where it's in this area that's between the forest and the civilization, which is where caboclos in the myths about them live.
It's a response to the chronic stimulus of
So a lot of my work deals with race and identity and how it's affected by histories of colonization. So I was really interested in like this kind of shifting way of looking at race in relationship to how they were forming their idea of nationality. The area of Brazil that I was in, it was the northeast part of Brazil, which is the black part of Brazil. And so actually one thing I was interested is what, in the kind of late 70s following the Black Power movement in the US, the African identity started to become more important and more celebrated than this kind of celebration of racial mixture, and so there was more of a shift towards racial essentialism. So in my own work, I always deal with kind of these cultural myths. So I was interested in Candomblé because it was kind of a religious form that encapsulated a lot of cultural myths that were formed during displacement and slavery and colonization. And for a really long time, Candomblé was a persecuted religion. Like, people tried very actively to shut it down and people died over it. And now they're trying to kind of make it a national religion, and they're really kind of forwarding this matriarchal idea because a lot of Candomblé houses are run by older women. And so some of these clips from kind of like films that have to do with like fear of possession, or because Candomblé is, there is possession in it where the initiates get embodied with the spirit. So I'm kind of playing with the kind of fear and racial anxiety within Hollywood movies, often with zombies or possession, which was, this one's from White Zombie, but yeah. And I kind of came with a certain idea, but then I didn't realize, I know, it was just a very different environment. So there was no real art supplies or anything anywhere nearby. So I started, like a lot of the work here started there because there was one little store I would go to, and it had a lot of soap and it had a lot of vegetables, like root vegetables. So those became my art materials.
So you start eating yourself.
Part of the DCA grant is they ask you to do some kind of presentation. So I had a screening at the Luckman Theater where I screened the first version of my video, which is still being revised a little bit. And so at the end we had a studio visit that was open to the public, and I displayed the different puppets I had made and the different objects that I had used in the performances that were filmed and later put into the video.